There's a dangerous fantasy floating around the modern heart. It whispers that a transformed life will simply happen if you love God enough. Let me stop you right there. The dream of change without a divine plan isn't faith, it's fiction. Nothing changes until you get honest about what's broken. Nothing moves until you get dissatisfied with where you're standing. So take a long, loving look at the condition of your soul today, and then, only then, let's build a plan. Not based on worldly wisdom, based on the unshakable foundation of Scripture. Hidden in an ancient story of rubble and rebuilding are 7 divine steps that still work, still save, still transform. Step 1. Pray like it all depends on God. Nehemiah didn't start with a strategy session. He started on his knees. Before he touched a brick, he touched heaven. Before he spoke to the king, he spoke to the King of Kings. His first move wasn't action, it was surrender. God, I don't have a plan. What's your plan for my life? Stop strategizing, start supplicating. Step 2, get ready while you wait. 4 months. That's the silent gap between Nehemiah's prayer and God's answer. He didn't sit around waiting for a miracle to drop in his lap. He prayed, he planned, he gathered information, he got ready for the opportunity before the opportunity arrived. Here's the tension every mature believer must hold. Pray like it all depends on God. Prepare like it all depends on you. Step 3. Stand firm when fear attacks. Nehemiah was terrified. The king had the power to execute him on the spot, and yet he didn't hide. He stood there afraid and moved forward anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is perseverance in the presence of fear. If you're waiting to feel unafraid before you step out, you will wait forever. Name your fear. Then decide, will it stop you or remind you that you desperately need God? Step 4 and 5, determine your main objective. Choose a time frame. Nehemiah didn't say, I want to help my people. He said, send me to that city to rebuild the walls. Clear, bright, measurable. Vague goals produce vague results. And then he set a deadline. A dream without a deadline is just an empty wish. Goals need calendars. Visions need timelines. What's your specific God-honoring goal? And when will you start? Step 6. Predict the problems that may arise. Great leaders think ahead. Nehemiah anticipated permission, protection, and provision before he ever stood in the rubble. He didn't wait until he was overwhelmed to figure it out. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. Faith doesn't ignore reality. Faith faces reality with God in the room. What could hold you back? Plan for it now. Step 7. Have faith in God. Here's the principle that changes everything. God's plan never lacks God's provision. When you are walking in His will, He goes ahead of you. He opens doors you didn't knock on. He provides resources you didn't know existed. Nehemiah asked for the moon and got it. Not because he was special, but because he was obedient. Not because he was perfect, but because he was positioned. God specializes in rebuilding ruins. He loves restoration projects, and right now, He's looking at the rubble of your life, not with disgust, but with delight, saying, let's build something beautiful. Don't settle for a repaired wall when He wants to give you a restored city. Don't stop at survival when He's offering significance. You were made for more than mere existence. The life worth living starts today.